Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we will be reviewing some of the books that I read in the month of August. My cat Ruby is here to assist, so without further ado, let's get started. The first book that I read in the month of August was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I'm sure many of you have heard of this book. It's very popular on BookTok, Bookstagram, BookTube. I see it all over the internet. But it was new to me, and I absolutely loved this book. Oh my gosh. I was in a huge reading slump when I first started reading this, and I thought, let's just go with a YA thriller, something fast paced, something quick that'll get me out of this reading slump. And oh my gosh, did it ever. This story follows Pip. She's a high school student working on her senior final project. She has chosen to study a murder case in her hometown that is allegedly closed by the police, but she thinks there's more to the story. So she's researching that. She teams up with our main male character, Ravi, and their story is just so good. There's an unexpected bit of romance in this book that I did not see coming, and that story was really sweet and lovely to follow. But what really got me was just the twists and turns of the murder mystery unfolding. It was really gripping, really compelling. So I cannot recommend this book highly enough to anyone who, like me, maybe is in a reading slump and needs something just fast paced to get through. I think I finished this book in like 2 days, which is pretty quick for me. I don't it usually takes me about a week to finish a book, so highly recommend. I gave this one 5 stars. The next book that I read in August was The Cruel Prince, another very popular book talk book. I also really loved this book. This is a fantasy book with, I'd say, like crumbs of romance. It's not a romantasy. I've seen some criticism online for this book saying that there's not enough romance or people got bored by the politics. Going into this, you really have to know that it is a political fantasy with a hint of romance. That being said, the hint of romance is so good. Oh my gosh, the two main characters are so fun to follow. It's an enemies to lovers romance story, but they kind of stay enemies. It's really interesting to follow. So I really enjoyed it. The politics in this one are so good as well. Oh my gosh. If you're just like a fantasy reader who loves and lives for betrayal, scheming, anything like that, this one is really good for that. I gave this book 4 stars. It's a little slow in the beginning with the world building, just getting to know all the characters and everyone, but I highly recommend. Absolutely wonderful book. Next, you might be able to guess what I read next, but that was The Wicked King. I gave this book 5 stars. This was so good. Oh my gosh. It just takes the characters that are established in the first book and really builds on their story. This was so gripping and interesting to read. I read this one pretty quick as well. Just following all the alliances and backstabbing that goes on in this book is so phenomenal. So yeah, cannot say enough good things about The Wicked King. Finally, the last book I read in the month of August was, to no one's surprise, The Queen of Nothing. I gave this book 5 stars out of 5. This was yet again such a good read. Oh my goodness. The power struggle, more than anything, was so interesting to read. There's a little bit more romance in this book compared to the first two. Not a ton. This, like I said, the series is not a romantasy series by any means, but it was really sweet to follow their story and the different twists and turns that came along with it. I really loved the ending, and I think there are more books in this world. I don't know if they follow the same characters or not. I would assume they follow different characters since they're not part of this trilogy. I'm very excited to explore more of the world that Holly Black has created. I love her writing, so very excited to see what she does next. I also had the privilege of being able to watch A Good Girl's Guide to Murder on Netflix in August. So if you are fans of the book, I do recommend that series. It is a fairly faithful adaptation, I would say. There are definitely some changes that are made, I think, to keep it more interesting for television. But that was a really fun watch to do. I watched it with my parents when I was home, and we all loved it. So definitely something there for people of all ages. And that concludes my review of all of the books that I read in August. I know 4 books isn't a ton by some people's standards. I do work a full-time job. I'm pretty new to YouTube. This is my first video, so I'm trying to balance my, real life with my online life is going to be interesting. But I hope to be reading a little bit more in September, and I will update you guys in the next one with what I'm doing and reading. So if you enjoyed, consider giving this a like or a comment. That would really be so special to me. I would love to hear what you guys read in the month of August or September. I know it's it's kind of midway through the month at this point. So yeah, let me know what you're reading, and I'll see you in the next one.